Hey, shalom to the elect of Israel. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, every well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect of Israel. In this lesson, I wanted to, this is just a thought that came to mind just now. Salakia, all right? But I typed in on Google, what can come of the U.S.-Venezuela situation, basically, right? This is under the AI overview. Now it says the U.S.-Venezuela situation could lead to intensified U.S. military action, so it could get, worse. It says such as strikes against drug cartels and potentially the Venezuelan military, in addition to the ongoing naval operations. Other potential outcomes include increased regional instability and a geopolitical confrontation with Russia and China, as well as political economic impacts, especially concerning global oil markets. A less likely outcome is a full-scale U.S. invasion, but the possibility of a power vacuum or internal conflict following a regime change remains a risk. So it's saying these different outcomes, but one of the things, right, as it says here, under potential immediate outcomes, is increased regional tension. The situation could lead to a wider confrontation with Russia and China, who are allies of Venezuela, and increased regional instability. Okay? So, one of the things that could happen is that, confrontations and tension with Russia and China can increase. And we know that Russia is going to be the end of this society. The bear, the feet of it wears the feet of a bear, roughly paraphrased in Revelation 13. We know Russia's one of the countries that's going to be the main countries to off Babylon the Great. Okay. So it says power vacuum. An overthrow of the Maduro regime could lead to a power vacuum with rival factions and armed groups fighting for control, creating further instability. Okay? So, ultimately, stuff can get worse. All right? But I just wanted to get that, just thought. Russia and China, as well as potential economic impacts, especially concerning global oil markets, but stuff can intensify between them. And ultimately, the Lord is, the one pulling the chess pieces, man. Right? Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay? And by the way, also, as I said, Russia and China are allies of Venezuela. Okay? And this type of thing is what happened before World War One. You had different allies, okay, of different countries, okay. So when the war broke out, all these different countries and nations got pulled into it by default because they were allies. So a world war is cooking up, right? It says the situation could lead to a wider confrontation with Russia and China, who are allies of Venezuela, and increased regional instability. And let me look that up just to show you what was Maine, M-A-I-N. Maine. It says, let me just type in World War One meaning. It says the main acronym for the causes of World War One is MAIN, which stands for militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. These four factors created a volatile environment in Europe that, when combined with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, led to the outbreak of the war. All right, and ultimately, that's what the acronym MAIN stands for. Militarism, which says the belief in a strong military and the buildup of armed forces, which led to an arms race among European powers. And so they were, they believed in a strong military. They were building up their countries and different nations were building up their their artillery, their weaponry and everything. And guess what? The scriptures say, Isaiah 54 verse 16, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and I bringeth forth an instrument for his work. You know, have created the waster to destroy. Nuclear missiles are being made. All right. Also, you have Joel, the 3rd chapter, verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears is the point. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? Even the insignificant nations, right? They have nuclear power. Okay? They're going to, have and get a nuclear power, right? Alliances, it says a system of mutual defense pacts that pulled many nations into the conflict once it began. Back in World War I, because of these different countries having alliances, when the war broke out, all these different countries started getting pulled into it. You see? And this was the first woe. And we're coming, and as the scriptures say, Revelation 11 and 14, it says, the second woe is past, when World War II is gone, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, which is World War III. We're in a time now to where it's about to happen. Okay? It says imperialism, the competition among European powers to acquire colonies and economic power in other parts of the world, which created competition and rivalry. All right, nationalism, an intense pride and loyalty to one's nation, which fueled rivalries and a desire for self-determination among various ethnic groups. All right, but that's the causes of World War I. But it reminded me because of these these main two right here. Okay, really alliances, right? But and this as I said, militarism. This next war is going to be fought with nuclear fire. Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. That's how wars were fought back in the ancient world. Garments literally rolled in blood. People screaming, swords beating on, slamming on shields and everything. Right? It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay? This world war, this type of war, this last war to end all wars, is going to be fought with nuclear fire, man. Okay? This is the third woe that's coming. So just wanted to put that out there because we keep hearing in the news about U.S. and Venezuela. Let me just look it up. U.S. Venezuela news. See what's going on. It says Trump confirms conversation with Venezuela's Maduro. Right. Why is Trump threatening attacks? All right. Get this thing out the way. It says, our United States military airstrikes on Venezuela imminent. This came out December 1st, so today. No, yesterday. It says, over the weekend, President Donald Trump issued a warning to avoid airspace over the South American country. Trump has already signaled forthcoming land attacks in Venezuela, located along the continent's northern coast. But speaking on Air Force One on Sunday night, November 30th, Trump told reporters not to read too much into the closing of the space. All right. So, the tensions are still kicking up and everything, right? But ultimately, the Lord is moving the chess pieces around. Okay? So, I just want to, do a lesson on that. All right? That World War III, can possibly come of this, of what's going on with America and, Venezuela, all right, and Caribbean and everything. Okay. So, yeah, man. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone every well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect of Israel. Shalom to the elect.